All right, I am going to show you how to plot just your 3 data points and then upload that to Canvas just in case if you're not familiar with how to do that. So in this spreadsheet here, I've kind of set it up how I might do it if I were collecting the data. You don't have to do it this way, but it just makes sense to me. So the first column I have the leaf. So that would be like leaf 1, leaf 2, leaf 3, or blue, orange, yellow, or whatever colors toothpicks we had. However you want to label it's fine. We need to know the date that we started the experiment. So like that first week of class, when we first put the leaves into the soil. We need to know the date we harvested each leaf, the starting and ending weight. We'll calculate the number of days each leaf was in the soil based on the date the experiment started and the date it was harvested. And then we'll calculate a percent mass remaining. So now in the instructions to that discussion post, I said you should be able to plot 3 data points, but as you are well aware, you only harvested 2 leaves. So we can get a 3rd data point by just making the assumption, or I guess it's really not much of an assumption, but that before we started the experiment, so on day 0, so I'm entering 0 for this first row, that there was 100% of the mass remaining. So before there was any decomposition, we know 100% of that mass was remaining. So I'm going to go ahead and fill those 2 data points in here on the first row. And I'm not going to fill anything else in for this first kind of row. And I'll call this leaf 0 just so we can give it a name. So that's where that 3rd data point is coming from. Then you should have 2 other leaves, so your first leaf and your second leaf. Now, I don't remember the exact date that we started the experiment, and I don't remember the dates that you harvested them. So you'll have to fill these in. The date the experiment started is going to be the same for all leaves, but your harvest date should be different. And that's the date you pulled the leaf out of the soil, not the day you weighed it, the day it came out of the soil. So you'll fill those in. I'm just going to imagine or pretend that the first leaf was harvested after 30 days of decomposition and the second leaf after 60 days. And then you'll have to enter your starting and ending weight of each of those leaves. I don't know what those are, so I'm just going to make up starting weights. And let's just pretend we have 2 leaves the exact same weight to start with. And after 30 days, the first leaf weighed 0.044 grams. Notice I have these in units of grams. And the second leaf, let's say after 60 days, it weighed 0.037 grams. So now we can calculate the percent mass remaining of those 2 leaves. So we're going to enter a formula. So we put equal sign. We're going to click on our ending weight first. So it's going to reference that cell number. We're going to divide that by the starting weight and then multiply that by 100. And so that'll tell us how much percent of the mass was remaining when we harvested it. So it's just this divided by that times 100. So then we can just drag that formula down to the second leaf, and then we have our 3 data points. We have times the amount of time each leaf was decomposing and the percent mass remaining. So now we can go ahead and create not a formula, we're going to create a plot. So I'm going to enter a chart. I'm going to do a scatter plot. Make sure you do a scatter plot because we have numerical values on both axes. Oh, you know what we can do? I'm going to delete that plot because if we highlight these 2 columns, it'll just do some of the work for us. All right, I'm going to enlarge that so you can see a little better. So there's our 3 data points. It automatically gives us a legend, but we only have 1 series of data, so we don't need a legend. I don't love titles either, so I'm just going to get rid of that. But we need to put some axis labels on here. So for me on this Mac, I'm going to go to chart layout and add an axis title. You should know how to do this by now since you've all created a couple figures for class. So this is going to be, again, the label is going to be time, and make sure you put units, which is days. And then I'm going to insert a vertical axis label. I don't want that. So I'm going to delete what's in there, and then I'm just going to put a percent symbol, capital M, capital R, for percent mass remaining. I'm going to go back to the home menu here and enlarge this a bit so we can see it. There we go. All right. But we need this R to be subscripted. So if you look in the handout for this activity for the decomposition lab, it shows you this kind of abbreviation or symbol. So I'm going to highlight the R, and then on the Mac, if I go Control click, I'll get this format text option. Window pops up and I can select subscript. So there's different ways of doing that. So you should be able to find that subscript because in your leaf mass area report, you needed to subscript those axis labels. All right, so that's the figure you need to provide to me on the discussion board. You can provide this in several formats. You can just paste a picture into the discussion board. So if you want to just take a screenshot of this and paste it in there, that's fine. You can save the image by itself and attach the image as a file to that discussion post, or you can save the whole Excel spreadsheet. So if you want to save this with a specific name and upload that to Canvas and put it as an attachment to the discussion post, that's fine as well. Just get me this figure in some way, and so you can get the points for this assignment. All right. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next video.